everyone, and welcome to another episode of Out of the Fog. I'm your host, Laurabel, and we have a fun-filled show for you today. I'm going to be joined by Jennifer Mackey, who is the 2022 Newfoundland Labrador Rose, and I'm also going to be sitting down and chatting with Julie Lewis, who owns SassyTuna. So stay tuned, and let's get into it. Welcome back, everyone. I'm now joined by Jennifer Mackey, who is the 2022 Newfoundland and Labrador Rose of Tralee. Jennifer, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you here because I have heard about what a Rose of Tralee is, but I don't know the full details. So I guess the first place to start is, what's the Rose of Tralee?
Yeah, great question. So here in Newfoundland, we're still a pretty new centre. We started in 2012 is when we sent over our first rose over to Ireland. And since then, we've really built our platform here in Newfoundland, and we're still growing. So thank you again for this opportunity to kind of spread the word. So what the Rose of Tralee is, it's an international festival that's held in Ireland yearly. And it just kind of an overview of it is that it celebrates women of Irish heritage and descendants. And it just celebrates women, their accomplishments, their personalities, what they contribute, kind of what their goals are. Yeah, just celebrate being a proud woman, yeah.
So I want to ask you a little bit about what your journey has been like. So we can start as when you started, before you were crowned the 2022 Rose of Tralee, what was it like competing with other Newfoundland Labrador women to get this title?
Yeah, so it's been an amazing experience. I've been a part of the centre here in Newfoundland since 2015, so I've got to see a lot of women be selected and sent to Ireland and watch their amazing journey. So I know a lot about the Rose of Tralee, a lot about, the women that have gone over and the women that I've done this whole process with, a lot about their Irish heritage as well as my own. And what's really unique about the Newfoundland Centre is that we stay really close. We call ourselves kind of like a little sisterhood because we stay friends. We do events all throughout the year, such as charities. We do the Christmas parade. So it's really nice. I've got to do the gala a few times. Every year, kind of the nerves for it all kind of got a little bit less and less because I was getting a little bit more used to it. So that was kind of nice. And then when I was selected in 2022 to represent Newfoundland, it was just such a great honor because I've been a part of the centre for a really long time. So this centre is really special. It's a really great experience.
So what does the process start like? So let's say people are watching right now and they're like, I think I want to be a Rose. What is that like?
First of all, I just want to say go for it. Even if you're not really sure, just put your name in, apply. How you do that, you can go on our website, which was shown earlier, and there's an apply button. Also on all of our social medias, there's links to apply. It's just kind of a short application. You answer a few questions. You do have to know a little bit about your Irish heritage, but no worries if you don't know a lot about it. During the whole process, we help the women kind of figure out exactly where your Irish heritage all comes from, but have a little bit of an idea and just a few questions about yourself and your ambitions and stuff like that. So the application's pretty simple, but just go for it. And if you have any worries about it at all, feel free to reach out to me, feel free to reach out to the centre, and we'll definitely help you along. But it is such an amazing experience and such a great thing to be a part of.
Okay, so 2022,
yes.
Got on a plane, went to Ireland. What was that experience?
I thought I was prepared for what was going to kind of happen during this experience because I've been involved with the centre for a while and I've followed the journey of the other women who we've sent over. But I was not prepared. It was a whirlwind.
Okay.
So we got off the plane. Our first place was in Wexford, and even before this, I had a really great experience. I arrived a day early. Mm-hmm. You know how travel is off the island.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you're going to get there. So I came a little bit. I went a little bit early. And one of the roses, I just reached out in this rose group, the international rose group, saying, I'm going to be flying into Dublin. I have no idea how to get to Wexford because that's where our rose tour was starting.
Okay.
And one of the roses reached out. And she said she'd pick me up from the airport. I stayed with her and her family for the night before. And it was, even just before it all started, it was an amazing experience. I realized how similar her family was to mine. They had a big party in the kitchen to celebrate. We had a big send-off, and they were so nice to include me in all that. So all that went down, and then we got to Wexford, and that's where our tour started. We got some debriefing, and then we set out on an 8-day tour across Ireland.
Okay.
Visited many counties. Absolutely amazing experience. Definitely tiring, but would do it all over again in a heartbeat.
Okay.
And after our 8-day tour, we finish off in County Kerry, which is where the main festivities kind of start.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you got into this, you'd already gotten experience because you've supported and worked with the Newfoundland Center since 2015.
Yes.
If someone asked you now, what should you have known before you signed up, what would you tell them?
You know, it's really easy to get wrapped up in, you know, everything that's going on. But my biggest piece of advice is just always stay true to who you are, because that is what makes you special. And just know about your Irish heritage, and know what you like to do and how that reflects kind of your Irish culture and Irish heritage. And I think from there you'll do well. Just be yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think over the course of this, so from 2015 when you first joined the Newfoundland Center to when you were crowned in 2022, what was the point where you sat there and you're like, I would never have expected this?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, I was very grateful to be able to experience the journey along with the women that got selected every year that I participated. And when my name was called in 2022, it was almost like a, oh, is this really happening kind of moment. If you see the pictures of me from the gala, I'm not nice tears,
So
but
like,
you know what?
Ugly tears, but happy face.
But happy, very,
Yes.
very happy. And just to have that support from all of my Rose sisters from that selection year just felt really, really nice.
Oh my goodness.
You're not, because I know it can be hard if you're not selected, you know, you're not going to say that you're not upset. You're looking forward to something like that. But that support that you get from your sisters, they're all looking forward to you going. They're there every step of the way. It's such a nice feeling and experience.
Okay. So I'm going to go back a little bit.
Okay.
So why did Newfoundland and Labrador join the International Rose of Tralee celebration?
Yeah, so as you know, Newfoundland and Labrador has a lot of Irish heritage here. You know, people from Ireland started coming quite a few hundred years ago. And settled here. And what's really nice about Newfoundland, which I said a lot while I was over in Ireland, is that the Irish came and then we were kind of stuck because we're on a little island. There wasn't much travel off it. So the heritage and culture that they brought really stuck here. Okay. And I think that's what makes Newfoundland so unique, Newfoundland and Labrador so unique. Even when I was over in Ireland, I was showing people videos of, you know, some family members or people that I know that have very similar accents to those, you know, who come from the counties around the water, like Wexford and Waterford, and that's where my family came from, was County Waterford. So it's just very interesting.
Oh, see, that's so cool. So
Yeah.
for anyone who's like a history buff
Yes.
or enjoys this kind of
Yeah.
thing, this would be a great adventure for them.
Definitely. I think there's something about learning about where you come from and, you know, what led you, like how did I end up here in Newfoundland, and why do I love kitchen parties? Why do I love Newfoundland music so much? It's fun to kind of trace back your family lineage and see this is probably why.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were going to be sending a new rose
Yes.
in 2024.
Yes, very excited.
But I want to know, so you did all this. We got about 2 minutes. Who have you become since you became a rose?
Ooh, so, yeah, my life has kind of been a little bit of a whirlwind. So after I came back from Ireland, I actually was away living in New Brunswick for a little bit, which was a great experience. obviously the rock pulled me back. I can't stay away for very long, but I did come back so I could go back to school again. I was working as a nurse, and now I'm back doing the medicine program at Memorial University. I got engaged to my wonderful fiance, and yeah, I'm just always up to date with what's going on with the Newfoundland Centre and what events we're doing. I absolutely love that we get to do things year round. It keeps our centre very connected. Yeah, and just get to celebrate all the amazing women that are currently part of the centre, and then hopefully all the new ones that are going to join this year.
Jennifer, it's been amazing getting to chat with you and learn more about the roses. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we'll be right back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. So if you are up and around downtown St. John's like I am, you've probably seen the pink and purple colorful studio. Well, I have the pleasure of introducing you to Julie Lewis, who's the owner of SassyTuna Studio. Julie, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Laurabel. It's lovely to be here. Very exciting.
I'm so excited to have you. I've driven by your studio tons of times, and every time I drove by, I was like, I need to know what goes on in that place. So now I have you here. Please tell me all the magic of what SassyTuna is.
Yes, thank you. So it's been a studio that's been around in that location just before the pandemic happened.
Okay.
We had a couple of other locations on Kenmount Road previous. So generally, most of the people who know about us find out by word of mouth or looking for art classes or media classes online. Okay. So if you're walking by, we're not a sushi shop, we're not a furniture shop, we're not some kind of a hidden party place, although it feels like it because we have disco balls, fancy lighting. So the ambiance is really important.
Yeah.
So I will say that the time that most of the world was closed away from everyone the last few years, I had done a lot of interior work.
Okay.
Working on minimalism, clearing. So now when our students come in and the families, they go, wow, this is really cozy in here. And some children think I must sleep under the desk, but no, I don't. It's a comfortable spot, but.
No hidden blankets?
No, try not to do that. It's actually more active. So that way, between pieces of artwork, your brain can just rest and then go in at it again. So it's nice.
So how did you start SassyTuna?
It's a good question, loaded question.
Okay, ready.
Yeah, so I went to quite a number of art schools. I started here at good old Memorial University to do a solid year of my general studies. Then I went to Grenfell, and then when I finished at Grenfell, I moved to Oakville, did a year at Sheridan College, and then finished my studies in Ottawa. And then I moved on into television animation. Oh. And when I graduated, I worked at the college for a year and was doing some television contracts, so I have a certain amount of familiarity with the media side of things. And I grabbed SassyTuna just before I left for Italy, because I knew I had been traveling. Every university has its own email, and I went, nobody's going to be able to find this girl from Newfoundland, because I was all over the place. Yeah. So when you Googled SassyTuna at the time, which when I looked at it, SassyTuna is a British nickname for somebody who likes to party. So they're supposed to be jaunty and stylish. Okay. So, you know, when you're early 20s, you're going, okay, I got to grab something fun here. So it was only me and cat food recipes as SassyTuna. There were only 3 listings on Google at the time. So we're talking, as my students would say, old. But it was an interesting journey to see, you know, where all that went. So When I moved back to Newfoundland after traveling and working for quite some time, my brother, whom unfortunately I lost him in 2022, he started the video game element with me. So he was a coder, and I took over the art side of it. So he and I only had a handful of students when we started, and then we were able to keep going year after year, building especially on what the students were looking for.
Okay.
So we've always had a really interesting, eclectic group of makers, coders, video people, YouTubers, just maker. So if you like to make, if you like to create, primarily the largest number of individuals coming through, you can imagine now, are age 5 through university. However, we do a lot of collaborations with tech companies. I myself worked in software for 10 years and continue to work, but in terms of full-time job. So to me, SassyTuna can become any number of different things depending on the project. So.
Okay, that's so much cooler than I could ever have dreamed for what SassyTuna.
It's never a dull moment, I'll tell you that. And the children learn a lot. Like I will tell you, when they come in, they never know what they're going to hear, which is, to me, it's real.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that authenticity of what we're doing.
Okay.
You know?
So I have a 5-year-old,
Oh,
which means he is of the age range to be walking into SassyTuna, and it's not the cat food. He's coming in for you.
Unless they're creating a cat food label and they do all kinds of.
He might use that to bribe me into a pet, so please don't give him that information yet. So what are some of the classes and programs that people can avail of when they show up?
So we have art classes. So in the art classes, you've got your charcoal, pencil, perspective, urban sketching. So all this week we're doing field trips, all indoor spaces in St. John's. We do character drawing, acrylic painting, watercolor painting. So it's always changing. Digital. Today we're starting one of our new digital classes. Because sometimes we have 5-week classes. Our main core program, it starts in September and ends in June. We have a video game class. So in that class we only have at most 4 to 5 children, so that if they accidentally type in the wrong line of code, they know where to return instead of sitting there waiting for half an hour to get back on track. And we have a YouTube creation class, so Jordan Antle is teaching that one, and the children are getting a lot from that because he's got over 2 million YouTube subscribers, and I'm learning a lot, as well, so we all feed off of one another. And we have an animation class. One of my old students, Tralee Murphy, who, if you know Charlie, Charlie was one of my students during White Juan and Hurricane Juan way back when. So there's all kinds of stories that we have, and so many overlaps of the community of teachers and colleagues I have around me. It's wonderful, you know.
Okay, Julie, you're cool, like cooler than cool. And to know that a space like this exists where kids and youth and even young adults can come in and do a program from September to June, like a full school year, and walk out with amazing skill sets is incredible and so well needed within our province. So there are tons of creative energies here. To know that they have a place to go is fantastic. So for you, when you started this whole journey, could you have imagined this is where you'd be in 2024?
I'm going to say both yes and no. I love new things all the time. I really knew when I finished my schooling that what I trained in, which was animation, was not going to be my day-to-day. When I started animation, it was flip and draw. So it was literally, you know, drawing the good old Disney disc. And then when I came out to the other side of the program, everything was digitized and it was all going to 3D animation. So for me, the idea of sitting at a desk for 14 to 16 hours of a day doing rigging, textures, it just didn't fit my palette. So I started teaching thinking, oh great, I work with kids, children are the original artists. This is really where I see myself as a fit. And I'm kind of non-traditionally academic. So again, I love university, but I have a hard time picturing myself going to the same place all the time. So I absorb a lot of the energy from my students. I'm trying to listen to what it is they're looking for, and I'm also trying to speak to them as well the same way I'd be speaking to myself if I was 6 or 8 or 16. So it's something that I didn't expect I was going to be getting into, but it is fully expected because it's true to who I am. So.
Okay. So beside you, you have these fabulous pieces of art. Can we talk about these? Because I'm a shoe girl, love a good pair of shoes, but my closet can only hold so many. But what you've presented here means I can add more shoes to a collection.
Yes. So this is the funny thing. I am actually doing a minimalist course right now. I took a few years before I jumped in. I love online learning, and I love to step outside of Newfoundland for my learning because we are big producers. Newfoundland is spilling over with producers. So the idea of minimalizing for me was tricky. So when it comes to doing a painting, you can be bombastic, over the top, make great big huge shoes. But these shoes, for example, I got these from one of my trips to Italy, and there's only so many times you can bring them back to the shoe hospital down on Duckworth Street and you're crying because they're falling apart. So I said, that's it. Before I officially send them yonder, I'm going to do a really nice painting of them so I can keep them forever.
See,
yeah,
my partner would be very happy if I did this versus continuing to add more shoes to the collection.
Yeah, and many times when I do art, there's kind of a theme that I didn't realize that was happening until later. And many times when I'm working with my students, whether they're younger or older, that's a byproduct, is you learn things as you are doing the art, and sometimes you realize patterns, which I think is good for mental wellness as well. Yeah. This one here, it's a really beautiful red shiny pair that I have. So the colors that match your setup here are great. And as a matter of fact, I had a lot of fun painting this one because the shadows and the shine and all that were key. But that's another Italian pair. Okay. And then this pair was my set of wedding shoes, which were extremely painful.
So this is a more comfortable version.
Beautiful, exactly. But when you look at the reflections and the shine, which is a big thing that people like to focus on when
it's glittery painting, and so happy.
So yeah, and that's the idea. And the more I did these, the more I realized there was more to do. And then I started looking at my closet and going, okay, how painful, how pretty, how much space. So you start siphoning through these things, and this is what you start ending up with. So it's a good thing.
So you and I could spend a full day together, but I got you for one more minute. Where do we find you so we can learn to either paint, create video content, or join YouTube? Where are you located?
Well, we're on 736 Water Street, and the best way to get a hold of me is to literally email julie@SassyTuna.com. We do have a telephone number, which I grabbed again a long time ago, which happens to spell 7 FUNFIN, but we're not always sitting next to the phone. We do a lot of field trips. We do a lot of hands literally in paint. Yeah. So that's what I would advise, is drop me an email and I can get back to you properly from there.
Julie, it's been amazing sharing time and space with you. We'll be seeing SassyTuna more regularly, and I can't wait.
Thank you so much, Laurabel. It's been splendid. Thank you.
And we'll be right back, everyone.
Your opinion matters, and we want to hear from you. Get in touch with us using our viewer feedback line, your direct connection to shaping the shows you love. It's easy. Just grab your phone, scan the QR code on your screen, and take our quick survey. Share your thoughts, and let's make your viewing experience even better.
want to thank all of my guests for joining me today and thank all of you for tuning in. It's been so much fun sharing time with you today. If you found any of our guests particularly interesting and want to get into what they're doing, make sure to check out Roses of Tralee on social media and also check out SassyTuna on all social media channels. You can find out what upcoming sessions are available. And if you want to be a Rose, don't forget to sign up. It's been a pleasure seeing all of you, and I can't wait to be back next time.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
We want to hear from you. Provide feedback on this show or find out how you can get involved. Call, email us, or scan the QR code to take our quick survey.
I'm Detective Graff. This is Detective Bateman.
She had access, she had means, she had motive.
Well, you needed to win.